Along with a pop-up book from the same publisher that was released on the same day, this marks the first known standalone book about Gatchaman. It featured an adaptation of the first episodes and included a stereo flexidisc with the original opening theme song, Destroy Galactor. Both the front and back cover are shown here. 17 pages, full color. Published in December, this was the second of Bonso's sound picture books featuring Gatchaman. The story in this volume was based on episode 23, The Mecha Ball Runs Wild, which would not actually air until March 4th, 1973. It also included a stereo flexidisc of Gatchaman's song. Both the front and back cover are shown here. 17 pages, full color. These three books each featured 10 pages of full-color pop-up style pictures. Each two-page spread had a different gimmick or moving part for children to play with. Along with the sound picture book, Science Ninja Technique Firebird, also published by Bonso and released on the same day, the first volume marks the first known standalone book about Gatchaman. The story featured the Turtle King and was loosely based on the first episode of Gatchaman. The second volume featured images and enemies from episodes 2 and 3, and the third volume included villains from various episodes, such as the Mecha Ball, episode 23, the King Dragon, episode 22, and the Neon Giant, episode 24. Each book came packaged in a thick cardboard slipcase that duplicated the artwork on the book cover, with Gatchaman stickers included. 10 pages each, full color. One of a series of Gatchaman coloring books. Each book included 32 pages of original art to color. The front and back of the book are shown here. 23 pages, black and white line art. Some of the nicest editions ever published on the Gatchaman series, these books covered all the show's incarnations. The first edition covered the original Science Ninja Team Gatchaman, the Gatchaman feature film, Gatchaman 2, and the 1994 Gatchaman OVAs. It was primarily a picture book, but did contain new exclusive interviews with the show's staff and cast. It also featured planning notes, a gallery of Gatchaman-related merchandise, and information on the Gatchaman DVDs, which were being released in Japan at the time. The edition quickly went out of print and commanded highly inflated prices on the collector's market until it was revised and reprinted in 2000. The revised edition featured mostly the same material, but it was printed on nicer stock, and certain sections were updated with more recent information about the Gatchaman events in Japan, including coverage of the Gatchaman F series. The front and back covers of both editions are shown here. Each edition was 144 pages with both full color and black and white artwork. One of the very first and most detailed books about Science Ninja Team Gatchaman, it was published in 1974 while Gatchaman was still on the air. Directed at younger children, it presented brief sections dealing with the Science Ninja Team and their technology, as well as a larger section discussing the various Galactor robots. It came in a heavy, full-color slipcover that reproduced the actual book cover. The front and back of both the slipcover and the interior book are shown here. Not counting the pop-up board books shown earlier, this is one of the very few hardbound Gatchaman books. 128 pages with color, black and white, and duotone images. Each of the 3 volumes of these widely reprinted comics contained 3 stories based on the TV episodes. Volume 1 contained stories based on episodes 14, The Fearsome Ice Candor, 16, The Indestructible Machine Mechanica, and 22, The Firebird versus the Fire-Breathing Dragon. Volume 2 contains stories based on episodes 67, Mortal Blow, Gatchaman Fire, 60, Science Ninja Team numbered G6, and 59, The Secret of the Monster Mecha Factory. And Volume 3 contains stories based on episodes 80, Return Boomerang, 76, The Bracelets Exposed, and 79, The Stolen Gatchaman Information. Each story was approximately 60 pages long and included original artwork. As the comics were aimed at younger readers, the artwork was intentionally cartoonish. These versions of the comics, published by Ohio Shuppan, are reprints of earlier editions published by Sunpea. The entire 3-volume set was reprinted by Ohio Shuppan at least 3 times under slightly different titles. Each comic was 192 pages with black and white art. This was one in a series of books published by Bonso that included the music and lyrics to the theme songs for popular TV shows of the day. This particular volume included all of the original artwork for both the opening and closing credit sequences and had the full lyrics for the Gatchaman theme songs. Interestingly, Gatchaman's song was listed first, indicating Tatsunoko's original desires for it to be the opening theme. Both the front and back cover are shown here. 18 pages, full color. This issue of Anime and SF Magazine's Rendezvous featured Tatsunoko production science fiction series, with Science Ninja Team Gatchaman being the main topic. It included a 9-page look at some of Tatsunoko's hero programs, a 13-page monochromatic photo story for Gatchaman Episode 102, Countermove Checkmate X, plus an 8-page Encyclopedia Gatchanica with terms and definitions from the series. There was also an 8-page interview with members of the Tatsunoko production staff. 90 pages with full color, black and white, and monochrome images. Fantastic TV was a series of nicely detailed magazines, each devoted to a popular TV series. The first two shown here were both devoted exclusively to Science Ninja Team Gatchaman. The first volume contained photo galleries, original artwork, discussions of the technology of the Science Ninja Team, interviews with key Gatchaman production staff, a full-color photo story for the final episode of the series, storyboard sketches, Galactor mecha illustrations, an episode title list, an essay about Joe the Condor, and a full-color presentation of the opening credit sequence. The second volume featured similar material, but on different topics. It included a look at the Berg Katsei character, a piece on Red Impulse and his place in Gatchaman, a full-color photo story for Episode 78, Mortal Kombat 10,000 Meters Under the Ocean, a discussion of the weapons of the Science Ninja Team, and a newly illustrated adaptation of Episode 4, Revenge on the Iron Beast Mechadagon. The seventh volume focused attention on characters from all of the different Tatsunoko production series. Not surprisingly, a large part of the volume was devoted to the Gatchaman characters. In addition, the sale of Gatchaman to America was mentioned inside the book, possibly for the first time in print anywhere in Japan. The back cover of the issue featured a Battle of the Planets trade advertisement. The front and back cover of each volume are shown here. Each volume was 64 pages with both full color and black and white artwork. Published in February of 1980, this magazine cover featured an original image by Gatchaman series producer Ippei Kuri. The Condor Files was an original novel by Gatchaman series planner and writer Jinzo Toriumi. Directed at older fans of Gatchaman, it focused on Joe and included a reimagined backstory for him. It also featured a brand new cover by Ippei Kuri and a number of new manga-style illustrations by Masayuki Fujihara. 283 pages, black and white. This book was comprised of 50 glossy postcards that were glued together on one end to form a book-like spine. It had a wraparound color cover and came packaged in a resealable clear bag. The images were a collection of newly printed image stills from various episodes of Gatchaman. Initially offered only as mail-order items, the publisher made these books available for retail sales a few years later. 50 pages, full color. This book was the first collection of model sheet and design drawings covering all 3 Gatchaman TV series. A brief section in the front of the book contained full-color images, but the rest was black and white. The images included characters, gadgets, vehicles, sets, and layout illustrations. Although it did contain a number of previously published drawings, it also contained a fair number of illustrations that had not been previously published. The book also included an episode-by-episode guide to the Galactor monster machines used. 224 pages, full color and black and white. This entry in a series of books entitled Investigations of 70s Animation featured essays by multiple authors on a wide range of topics surrounding Gatchaman. The essays touched on everything from the feasibility of Gatchaman's technology to how Galactor would be set up in the real world to interviews with the Gatchaman staff. It also had essays about the various versions of Gatchaman around the world and the development of the Gatchaman fandom in America. As if that weren't enough, there was also a detailed synopsis and credit data section for each of the 105 episodes of the original Gatchaman TV series. Unlike most Gatchaman publications, this very interesting book was text-heavy with few photos. 248 pages, black and white.